So I was like 10, and 10 is a late time to start tennis. And my dad used to play. He played Hunter College in New York, and he used to give lessons at actually the same place that I ended up giving lessons for a while when I lived here.
Wow.
For the same guy, same owner.
The apple falls not far from the tree.
Dude, and the guy used to fucking basically tell me that my dad was a better employee. He'd be like, your father, I used to tell him he could sell, something like selling, snow to a snow owl. Or whatever, yeah. Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me.
Yeah.
Which, of course you were.
Oh, yeah. Here we are, Oops the Podcast, rocking and rolling, underway, under steam.
Rocking and rolling.
That's Julio.
Gallarati.
If you don't know who he is by now,
yeah, seriously.
what the hell?
It's your problem.
Okay, I got a problem.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Did you notice how when you walked in, I was wearing workout attire?
I did notice that.
Did you also notice that it was not sweaty or dirty in any way?
No, but you didn't mention that you had just worked out, which you would normally do if you were wearing workout clothes. And I thought that was odd.
I'd tell you, even if I'm wearing sweaty workout clothes, I say I just worked out.
Yeah. But you don't say it like I just worked out. I think you just like want to warn me in case like I'm like, oh wow, Francis is really sweaty or something. Like, I don't know. But even though you don't look it.
Got it.
It's almost like you're self-conscious and you think you need to disclose this information.
I wear tank tops to work out, which I don't like tank tops. I feel very exposed. And I feel stupid wearing a tank top. And
so I need for shoulder mobility?
Yeah, I like working because first of all, I don't work out in a gym that's public. I work out in the gym in my building. So there's really never anyone else in there. So I'm not self-conscious to work out in a tank top in my gym. And I work out in a tank top because once you switch to working out in tank tops, I feel like if you try to go back to a t-shirt or something, you feel constrained. I feel the sleeves grip at my underarm.
Tennis players too, like they'll have their shirt on and before they serve, they're always like jacking it up. And to the point where it like gives me anxiety. I'm like, dude, can you just like get a different shirt?
Yeah.
Like Andy Roddick, dude, every time he'd be readjusting and it would just make me really stressed.
It's very manic, very finicky, fidgety.
Yeah, he is.
So many ticks.
He was a little ticky. Not as
tacky.
bad as Liddell, but he was. And also, dude, like the necklaces. When they have a necklace, at the end of every single point, the necklace emerges and they have to put it back in before the next point. That also kills me.
Hey, don't wear a necklace.
And they'll be plural sometimes, like 3 or 4 necklaces.
What are those? Probably religious necklaces.
I think there's like usually a cross and then there's a ring. There's some kind of ring.
Oh, they're wearing their wedding ring on the necklace?
I don't know I don't think it's theirs because some of the people I'm thinking of specifically aren't married. So maybe it's some kind of significant.
Carrie Bradshaw wore a necklace, wore her engagement ring around her necklace from Aiden in season 4 of, Sex and the City, and I think we all remember how that went.
Well, I don't remember what happened.
Didn't work out.
Okay.
I don't think many people do remember that. Which is kind of why I said it that way.
Hill Dog remembers.
We're still working our way through the show, and it's good.
It's a really good show for somebody in their 30s in New York City to watch because it really accurately like roasts the New York City rat race really well.
It does, but it also romanticizes New York City in a way that makes you, I think, appreciate living here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think also, and I don't know, I'd have to talk to sort of that 35 to 40-year-old female demographic, but it, in many ways, there's a great episode in season, I think it's the first episode of season 5, where Carrie basically says that she's dating the city, and that's all she needs. And there's some truth to that. New York can be a panacea for loneliness. There's so much to do that even if you're without a partner, you can live a very active and fulfilled life here.
I'm impressed. I feel like that's not typically a Francis take. So I'm happy for you.
What do you mean?
But I don't agree.
Why do you say that?
Because you're usually like, I don't know, dude. It's pretty. I would be like, oh wow. Like I'm not saying that I would be the one saying that, but if someone were to say that to you, I feel like you'd be like, I don't know, man.
Do I think that people who are not with that being single is a bad thing?
No, I don't mean specifically about the topic or the subject matter. Just the idea of sort of romanticizing things. I'm not used to you doing that. I'm used to you kind of being like cynical.
Oh gosh.
But not like in a bad way, just like in a comedian way.
That's sad. Because I do romanticize things. I do think I'm a romantic at heart.
Yeah, you may.
I think I romanticize seasons a lot.
Which ones you looking forward to the
fall
fall?
in New York, buddy boy. Give me fall. Give me boots. Give me some long boots and pea coats and scarves. Tall, elegant humans
November.
strutting to work, strutting home from work, stopping at a wood-paneled bar that smells of oak and ordering a whiskey cocktail or something that has egg white in it with a shake of cinnamon on top. Frothy, fluffy, a fluffy cocktail. Nutmeg. Give me a rotisserie chicken. Exposed brick wall,
Fire.
Yeah, that's an extra blanket on the bed, turn the air conditioning off, crack the window.
That crisp air.
Oh boy, and we're not too far away. The weather's finally broken.
A lot is happening in between now and
You're damn right.
And like fall weather.
You're damn straight.
That fall weather ain't coming until late October.
Yes, but I will be away for almost probably more like 3 weeks. I'm gonna skip from about August 23rd until September 13th. I will be out of New York City.
I really like it.
Probably should think about subletting my apartment or something. We're going to come back. All the plants will be dead. But that'll be okay because that will be in the spirit of fall.
Yeah, they're going down anyway, right?
Yeah. Not our indoor plants. All right. Well, here's what I was going to say.
Hey, what's the problem?
You came in and I was wearing my workout attire and it was all dry. And this is the second day in a row where I have intended to work out. And to spur me to work out, I put on the workout attire only to be have so much inertia against it, resistance to change in motion or rest, in this case, rest, that the next thing on my day comes up, I then have to change out of workout attire that I have not used to get ready for the next thing. Is there anything more shameful?
It's not, it's a bad habit, that's for sure, if it were to become one.
This is 2 days in a row.
That's the thing about working out. It's like you need to sort of do it in a way where like you don't introduce these new possibilities that are bad. Like, for example, even if like, say you're warming up and you're like, I'm going to warm up for 10 minutes and you get to 9 minutes and 45 seconds and you stop, that's a bad habit.
The biggest one is picking up your phone in between exercises.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that can crush your whatever, your like rest, make your rest periods too long or whatever.
You just end up not doing as much of a workout because a lot of it leaks away into the phone.
Yeah.
But
would you say that it's like, for me, when I'm on the phone, when I'm working out, it's like I take too much time. And before you know it, like my kind of heart rate is
Totally. That too. Yeah. You just get cool and then you get stiff and then you're like, well, I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you just answered 14 emails and made a reservation for dinner in between your second and third set of shoulder flies.
Well, dude, Liddell always says, he's like, you, no matter what, have to show up to practice, no matter what. Because if you don't show up, it is now a possibility that you may not go to practice sometimes. And over time, that will get you.
Well, I guess that's the difference between being one of the best athletes on the planet and being a guy who's trying vaguely improve the shape I'm in for the wedding in 2 weeks. Now,
well, dude, I think you're fine. Though,
I am fine, but as we've said, it's not about being fine. I wanted to be humming.
Do you feel like you are no longer in control of your destiny because you haven't been able to do these things you've intended to do?
It's not really about that. It's even if I were if I could string together 4 days ahead of the wedding in a row of intense workouts, the right eating, and the right amount of sleep, which there's no way that's going to happen. But if I could do that, then I would, on my wedding day, I would feel in shape. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could look back and say, ooh, I've really done well in the runway to this wedding.
So you got time.
I kind of had time. I thought, this is what you do. You say, for the month leading up to the wedding, I'm going to work out 5 days a week. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to really do it. And then that turns into 3 weeks. And now it's turned into 2 weeks. I have been so bad that I could easily say, Julio, that in the lead up to the wedding, in the last month ahead of the wedding, I have worked out with less intensity and less frequency than I have in the last 5 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have tried less hard on the eve of my wedding than I have at any other point in my life over the last 5 years.
And what I would say, I have a couple of things to say to this. First of all, it's because you've been working out so hard for the last 5 years that now you can enjoy the spoils of your fitness journey.
But why am I taking my foot off the gas now?
Because you don't need to put it on the gas, bro. You're working out 5 days a week. It just makes no sense. You have more important things to be doing. You could work out 3 days a week. You could work out not at all, and none of us would be able to tell.
But it's not the wedding that's stopping me. It's other shit.
That's probably good.
And general lack of discipline. All of a sudden, I have lost my discipline. And I don't know why. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of myself. And I'm not complaining. I know I look
it's okay.
fine.
No, it's not about what you look like. I know you're like, I wanted to do this and I'm not doing it. I'm not disciplined, whatever. But dude, did you ever think that maybe the plan was just not necessary?
Are you telling me that I've been preparing for my wedding for 5 years?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? That's not a bad way to look at it.
Dude, you've been ripping it hard for 5 straight years.
You know something? The wedding, it's possible that the wedding is going to be the retirement moment. Because I'm going to go on that honeymoon and I'm going to drink my face off.
Fat Fran finally coming to fruition.
I'm so excited to drink my face off.
But when are you going to do that? Like, you're literally adventuring around the nature of most of it.
That's true, but all of these lodges
at the end of the night.
Yeah.
But aren't you like glamping in the safari, or you go back to the place at the end of the day?
It is glamping, but even to call it that feels probably like an insult to camping.
So they've set up like places along the way that are already fucking like.
I don't know exactly what it is. In fact, it's one of those things where I want to look into it as little as possible.
Yeah.
Because I want to be as pleasantly surprised as I can be.
I feel you on that. And dude, I feel so when I go and shoot stuff, I'll get a comprehensive itinerary if we have a guide. And a lot of the time I try really hard not to look at it. But then I'm like, dude, you should look at it because it'll help you plan all of the bits you want to do better.
Yeah.
But like
for that you have to. If you're turning it into content, yeah.
Totally. But so I'll look at the itinerary, but then I'll be like, I could easily watch other people's videos of this stuff and get ideas, but I'm like, I do not want to ruin it for myself. And if it means that my video is going to be worse, that's okay.
I think that's good.
I come to.
Because it would be sad if you went to all these amazing places and weren't able to enjoy or be surprised for your own personal enjoyment.
Totally. And dude, part of the whole racket I got going here is that, I've turned it into content because I'm not allowed to go otherwise.
Yeah.
I will show up to the airport to an intervention from my family if I were just going for fun.
Yeah.
Or I'd come home one time and Hill Dog would be gone. And that's not something that I'm willing to deal with.
That's good.
So.
I think part of what made Anthony Bourdain so wonderful to watch was that he was so good at showing his enjoyment of the experiences each time. It all felt new to him, just as it did to us through him, right?
Totally.
And it does, when I watch your stuff, it's the same way. And if you were just like, okay, we've already scouted this place.
Right.
I know what's coming. It's very hard to feign surprise and novelty for you.
Agreed. I try to remember that there's always something interesting in the adventure. Like
right.
There's going to be something,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah. So very true. So, okay. I'm glad we went on that little detour. That made me feel a little better. But with that said, I didn't work out. And there's nothing worse than, it's the same feeling as when you pack workout clothes for a trip with the intention of working out a couple of times, and then you get home and you unpack your bag and all the workout clothes are completely clean, untouched.
Yeah. I just, dude, I've stopped bringing, I'm not even kidding. Like, I only bring utility clothing now that I can wear to not work out and to work out, because
Shout out
like
bird dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. And all, bird dogs,
We mean
threads.
that when we say that.
Yeah. And because I know that I'm never going to step foot in that hotel gym.
Wow.
And that's okay, actually. Because I'm like, all right, I can do other active things where like this weekend doesn't have to make me disgusting. You know what I mean? I can do things outside. I can explore. I can go on a hike. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That stuff's like,
that's all enough. That's all enough
for
on
me,
vacation.
For me, at least.
I'm with you. As someone who craves exercise, a hike is
Yeah.
more than good enough to replace a hotel gym workout.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Are you now done though? Like after we finish here today, is there a chance that you'll go squeeze one in?
I'm going to try to.
I'd love to have you at New York Pilates with me at the 5:30 class if you'd like.
I like that.
Might be a little too slow paced for you.
No, I would do it.
Enjoy it.
I would join you, except that I have a big doctor's appointment today.
A big jab.
I'm getting my yellow fever finally.
Nice.
I told you about how I didn't get it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm finally getting it today.
Nice. And is Sierra going with you too?
She's already gotten hers.
Oh, bless her heart.
And she said that one.
For what?
She's done yellow fever, typhoid, and all of the others.
She in the army or something? How did she get all those out of the way?
She went to the correct place.
Oh, the first. Okay.
She went to a place that had them all.
Gotcha.
And I got lucky where I had finally scheduled this long overdue doctor's appointment to check on my sticky lipid profile. My lipid A profile.
I don't know, but did you tell us about this?
I think I did, because I know I did because someone DM'd me about it.
About your lipid A.
I have this thing. I think it's hereditary where.
I thought you had said the last update that I got, and sorry to interrupt you, was that you don't go to the doctor so that you wouldn't know any of this stuff. And we had said, well, if there was something hereditary, that's the only way you wouldn't notice. And you're like, yeah, I guess.
A while ago, I think I mentioned to you that there is this kind of cholesterol issue.
Got it.
That has to do with this sticky. I don't even know what the hell that means, but a lipid
arteries.
A.
Okay.
And it just makes it so that it can lead to heart issues, kind of regardless of what you eat.
Yeah.
And so you can take a statin for it, which is I think a pill that helps your
Lipitor
blood.
Or something?
Yeah, something like that. Starting at an early age, that really reduces your risk of clogs and clots or whatever. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I had put it off and put it off and put it off. And as a early wedding gift to Sierra, I'm finally going to do this. Because she was concerned about it and has brought it up so many times. So finally I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But in wonderful fashion, while I'm doing this, I found out that this same doctor who's going to do the blood work for that has the yellow fever vaccine.
Oh, baby.
So
That's
it's a huge
karma.
win. 2 birds.
That's the universe telling
with
you.
With one jab.
Boy, sorry.
Actually, it's going to be a few jabs.
Jabby.
Yeah. But I'm going to try to work out before that, because I also know that the yellow fever vaccine is going to turn my arm into an absolute noodle. And therefore, any shot of doing any sort of planks or any of that stuff will be out the window. Point is, okay, the last thing I wanted to say is I don't know what is going on out of nowhere, but I have started to smell terrible.
What's going on?
My body odor has changed. I don't know if my deodorant all expired at the same time, or if it's the heat, or if it's the stress. But out of nowhere, dude, when I say that I will shower, I will scrub my armpits, and I will, use heavy soap, and then I will put deodorant on, and that within 15 minutes of cleaning myself, I smell horrible.
Jeez.
I'm not exaggerating. It's 15 to 20 minutes.
Are you taking any medicine?
No.
Or vitamins or anything?
I'm not. I don't know where this came from, but it's bad instantly. I smell bad instantly.
I have a potential tip.
It's humiliating.
No, it's
I'm
bad.
ruining shirts.
You don't want to be a stinky
left
boy.
and right.
You don't want to be a stinky boy.
No, I sure don't.
Dude, if you wait until your armpits dry before putting deodorant on, it makes the deodorant work better.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you use an antiperspirant?
I know it's not good for you, but yes.
See, I might have to return to that. I have not for many years now because I was told it has aluminum in it, and, all this shit. And the very concept, once you think about it, of using something that actually prevents your body from sweating, felt unhealthy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's why
my armpits are losing the battle.
Losing the battle. It's a Tom's deodorant.
Yeah. I need chemicals. I need put all the aluminum, tin foil, whatever you want in there. Yeah. I can't do it anymore.
Tom's is the deodorant I'm thinking of, right?
Tom's of Maine.
Tom's smells like body odor. You're putting a body odor scented deodorant onto your body.
I remember the flavors of that shit. Calendula.
Dude.
Honeysuckle. It's like, really? That's not going to stand a chance to me and my stinky boy
no shot
armpits.
Yeah, that's gross, dude.
Any deodorant that has flowers on the front is fucked. I need Mach Turbo. I need something that's got
deodorant.
Yeah, that you could wipe on the side of a jet to help it reach a different stratosphere.
Dude, like marketing for men's body products is so funny. Like,
I know.
Especially like the cheap ones. It's like men's body wash. It's so stupid, dude. Axe men's body. Oh, this is for me, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. It like looks like a missile.
Yeah.
It's like gray
looks like
and fucking
engine fluid.
Oh man, I'm not a wuss, dude. Look at this stuff smells manly.
Yeah, exactly.
Flowers? What? Dude, fuck that, dude. I smell like a man. Dude, it's so
The problem for me was that Tom's was always Tom's of Maine. And so I felt the loyalty to it because of that.
You seem as if you're proud of Maine.
I am very proud of Maine, and I'm very proud of being from Maine.
Being a Mainer?
It's a state that you feel proud of being from.
It's a good state.
What other states is one proud of being from? Texas is right up there for sure. Probably, right?
Yeah.
States that people romanticize. California is up there. People are very proud of being from California.
Do you know what Jack Harlow said to me? This is funny. He goes,
you met him?
Yeah, we talked. This is something we've talked about. On the
What are you talking about?
Yeah, so that's why I didn't land. I spent an entire evening with Jack Harlow.
What the fuck?
You don't remember this? All right.
But no, because the one I told you I really liked him, you didn't bring this up again, which is typical Julio humility.
But dude, it's annoying. That would be so annoying if you're like,
no,
I love Jack Harlow. And you're like, bro, honestly, like in person, dude.
No, it's, I love Jack Harlow. And then you say, I spent an evening with him. And then immediately, I want to hear that story.
That's going to be the name of my memoirs, An Evening with Jack Harlow.
Julio, how dare you not brag to me about knowing Jack Harlow and having spent an evening with him when I tell you how much I like him?
Dude, I know I could have brought it up again, but I remember describing it in fairly specific detail that evening.
It didn't land because I didn't even know who he was. But quick timeout. Mm-hmm. Listeners at home, find yourself a friend like Julio, who, when you tell that friend that you've discovered something that you really like, a new musician or a new thing, and they have intimate knowledge of that thing, or they've been on that train long before you, they are humble enough to not be like, yo, bro, you're just discovering that. Or like, dude, I've known about him for months, years. I know him. They don't feel the name drop. They are secure enough within themselves to not instantly drop their balls on your forehead and be like, yeah, bro, we once had sushi together. I don't know many people in my life that could resist the urge to not immediately drop that, or within a few minutes in that conversation. The fact that you withheld it entirely, that it is now, it is a surprise to me, which, by the way, speaks poorly of me and my total tunnel vision within my own narcissism, that I would have become a huge fan of his and not remembered that you had once told me how much you liked him.
Dude, it's a pretty random, elusive, but it's totally, and to your point too, once somebody becomes more on your radar, you then remember from that point forward.
Yeah.
You know?
And you also do mention a lot of rappers that I don't have any sort of context for. You know, Young Thug, Jeezy, Baby, Monica,
Young Thug, Jeezy, Baby,
people from Latin America. Jack Harlow, for all I know, before I knew him, could have been it was just another name in a long list of names that had no standing for me, no bearing for me.
Yeah.
Okay, please tell me about your evening with Mr. Harlow.
Okay, so you guys may or may not remember this story. I guess we did talk about it a while ago. And I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but one thing specifically that I remembered, which relates directly to what you were just saying. We're talking, whatever. I asked him.
Why? How do you know?
I don't know him, but like we hung out this entire night together because we went to the Logan Paul fight together.
Oh, okay.
Pete was doing the commentary. Him and Jack Harlow are boys. So it was like me, our like little squad, a couple of comedians, Ricky, Jordan Rock, Dave, I forget who else was there. And then Jack Harlow's with us too. And we're just hanging out. We have our own little locker room in sort of like the Atlanta Falcons stadium or whatever. And anyway, I asked him, I'm like, where are you from? And he said, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, nice. I don't know why I asked this. It's like a classic random small talk where I'm like, where, do you love it there or something? You know, I don't know why I would ask that. I was like, you love it? And he goes, it's the best place in the world.
Oh, classic Jack. That's Jack. If I know Jack as well as I think I do, which is better than you, that is exactly what he would say. That is really cool, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is cool. And it makes you think when he drops it all the time in the songs, which he does. It's not just for show.
Right. But I wasn't sure if I was like, oh, he's curated this thing where he's repping his, it's like a thing that rappers do. They rep their, you know. I'm like, I said whatever. But yeah, it was fine. I was fine with it. I was like, oh, it's cute. And then it was also interesting as we kind of floated around the building and there's all these celebrities. It was interesting to see like celebrities who are like actually famous doing the shit that like comedians who are not famous also do. They're like, oh, like there's Jack Harlow. Like I need to go talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old celebrity who's like, oh, this is the new guy. I need to like peg myself to him. Mm-hmm. The same way like old comedians will do that to like the new hot comedians.
Yeah.
They're coming up to him. They're like, Jack, da-da-da. You know, sort of like
right. I'm hip. I'm cool.
Schmoozing, like, and he's just kind of doing his thing. I was like, that's kind of cool.
That must make him feel good.
Yeah.
What a sign you've arrived.
Well, dude, then I'm going to tell this story again. I was DJing in the locker room and played the couple good bangers. Every season by Roddy Ricch comes on. Jack Harlow and I are singing together, fraternizing.
That is so cool.
Addison Rae sitting right there, asking me what's this song called.
Oh my
and I
God.
then put her onto it. Claim to fame. Addison and I are quite close.
See,
that's a lie. We're not.
Did you?
That was our only.
Are you sure you've told me this whole story?
I believe
before.
So. And another one, dude, Charlie D'Amelio. She's getting ready to go on stage with like a trophy or something, and I'm like making small talk. I'm like, oh, they got you doing the trophy ceremony, huh? She's like, yeah. And I was like, and she was like with her family. I'm like, oh, that's your family? She's like, yeah. I'm like, nice. Traveling.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was insane.
Crushed it.
Yeah,
no.
Hanging with the TikTokers,
not insane.
dude. Smashing
it's you having your wits about you in a way that so many people do not. You absolutely are capable of rubbing shoulders with the rich, famous, and powerful.
And underage.
And you, you belong. You belong.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nobody belongs more than you.
Dude, hold on. I did tell you the last thing. I think I may not have said this actually before because it felt like I was somehow violating something by telling this, but I don't think that it is, and I may have already told it. Anyway, Chuck Liddell in the green room with us.
This is the story I do remember.
I told this one?
I remember this one.
I told it?
You were like, can I take a picture
Yeah.
not to be weird? And he did the fist thing.
Okay, yeah, but what he said was the funniest thing. A few other people had done it, and I was like, dude, would you mind doing one more? He goes, dude, I don't mind. He goes, I don't care about anything.
And that broke your heart.
No, it was kind of sick.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. I don't know if it was sad or cool. I think it was cool. But yeah, I've definitely...
That's so
Sorry
sick.
for the repeat.
No, come on, man. Come on.
Repeat.
Some stories are worth repeating.
These are good
and
celeb elbow rubbing tales.
That is nuts. And you know, you're the type of guy who just would not even think of taking a picture of the scene. Asking Chuck Liddell for a photo when Jack
Everybody else had
Harlow
been,
and
yeah,
Charlie
exactly.
D'Amelio are walking around, like he's the guy, interestingly, where that's cool. But if you had asked anyone else there,
right,
you
right.
instantly expose yourself a little bit as like,
As a yes, as a
you go from
I'm
being
not supposed to be here.
cool DJ introducing people to new songs, best friends with Charlie D'Amelio's dad, etc. You become, oh, now we're gonna look at him differently. He's not. I don't feel safe around him.
We have to keep our guard up around this guy.
Yeah,
Who knows what he's gonna be?
you lose your badge in a way. Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. What a great story.
It was a fun night.
Damn
It's a
it.
fun night for the boys and girls.
I'm jealous. I'm gel.
You're gel.
Well,
It's all right.
okay. So Jack Harlow, how did we get here? He loves
repping
Kentucky.
your city, Maine.
Maine. I am very proud of Maine.
Good,
And there
bro.
just aren't that many people from Maine, which is I think another thing that kind of keeps it, you know, cool. You don't meet too many people that grew up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I went to summer camp there. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, tourist. And you spent 4 weeks of summer there, fending off the mosquitoes.
Fucking nerd.
You know, canoeing at summer camp, playing capture the flag.
Camp Wahanawanawin.
Yeah. It's like, stop appropriating Native American culture, you monster.
Camp is such an interesting thing. Like people will be like, my camp. They refer to people they know from camp as their camp, fill in the blank, like camp friend, camp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy that like people go to their camp reunion.
That's true.
Crazy.
That's true. People do that.
I hated camp, to be honest. I went to I lived in the place where the sleepaway camp was, which is sort of like interesting. That like tells you how rural sort of my area was, that like people were being bussed in from like suburban or urban areas to go to this camp. And I just drove down the street to go to it.
That's funny.
And I went for I went for one day, and then the second day I just refused to get out of bed. I feel so bad for my parents. Like they had paid for this week of camp, and I was like, I am not going. And they're like, I was like, you're gonna have to physically pull me out of bed, and I'm gonna situate my body in a way where I'm much heavier because I'm gonna be like limp, and you're gonna have to physically carry me. And they eventually gave up.
And then that was the end of camp?
I never went to camp again. I had gone previously for one summer to this other day camp that turned out to be religious. We didn't know that. Our friend, like a couple of my friends, it wasn't religious camp, but there was a religious theme. There was a religious like angle.
Let's
like
put it
you
this
had
way,
to pray at lunch.
Julio, if there's any
a
religious
prayer.
angle at all, it's religious camp.
Oh yes, okay. So, but we did other things. So it's actually how I discovered tennis. Funny story.
Through Jesus?
No, this is what happened. So this religious camp, and it was the same. It was the same place that we did this thing called Nature's Classroom, which was a thing you'd go to and sleep away for a week, and like dads were the chaperones. It was shitty. You just stay in a fucking cabin.
Stuff sounds like it sucks.
We ended up having like I got lucky. I got a nicer place, but I sprayed Pam all over the floor and was sort of risky businessing across the kitchen, not realizing that I wasn't supposed to do that, and I was nearly kicked out.
Wow.
Okay.
Classic
Anyway,
religious camp,
No.
uppity bullshit.
that was the Nature's Classroom, but the religious camp took place in the same place as the Nature's Classroom.
Classroom weirdly sounds more religious than religious camp.
I know. It's like a cult.
Yeah.
Nature's Classroom. Anyway, it was in Ivoryton, Connecticut. I don't remember what it was called. No, I don't think so. Was that in Ivoryton, Connecticut? Camp Hazen is where I went, where I refused to go.
Damn, it's funny you mentioned having such obstinance to going because there were definitely moments in my young life where I would pout and go into my bed and commit to not moving and not coming out, but I could never hold that commitment.
Yeah.
Either my parents would threaten to, ground me or withhold something where I eventually had to cave.
Yeah.
Or I kind of just gave up.
Yeah, dude, I just couldn't do it.
To me, that's the equivalent of a childhood hunger strike.
It was impressive now that I look back on it.
That's amazing.
I truly stood my ground.
Yeah, that's really, you'd be good at striking. You ever think about that?
I'm fairly durable. Like I can go long periods of time without eating and maintain my energy level. I don't need a ton of sleep all the time, but I do crash eventually.
Yeah. I think the problem for me with these hunger strikes is that I don't know. I couldn't last a day. I could barely make it to lunch without eating. If I skip one meal, I'm toast. And then I immediately I totally overcorrect, which we all know. But the whole thing with hunger strikes is that if you're in prison or whatever and you're doing a hunger strike, they will force feed you by
with the
shoving tubes down your nose. And I could not endure that for a second. You ever see a video? You know who tried to do that? It was Most Def.
He tried to do a hunger strike?
Well, he was protesting the treatment of people that were doing hunger strikes in prison.
Okay.
It might have been prisoners at Guantanamo Bay or something like that, where he was showing how inhumane it is to force someone enduring a hunger strike to force feed them. And he said, okay, so they shoved the tube down his, they held him down. Dude. And it's hard to watch.
Jesus.
Really not pleasant. Really, really unpleasant.
Seems like it would be painful.
Can't even think about it.
Did I ever tell you about this? Speaking of Guantanamo Bay, I don't want to get back to the story. We'll get back to the story of the
I don't know where we are.
There. Guantanamo Bay.
I'm completely lost.
There's this documentary called I believe it's called The Road to Guantanamo. And it shows a story of these 4 guys who for some reason were, and to be honest, no offense to these guys, they never really answer the question as to why they were where they were. They essentially were in some kind of like terrorist hotspot. And they're like these normal guys, but they're like not really ever able to explain why they were there, kind of thing.
By the way, something tells me, I can't speak for them, but they're not taking offense.
Yeah, it seemed, I don't know. It seemed as if perhaps, no, they weren't though, I guess. Right. But these guys ended up in Guantanamo and like completely wrongfully, supposedly, is the story. And it's a true story. But
you have doubts about their innocence.
That is the popular critique of the movie. Of the I guess that's the documentary. But in the documentary, they do sort of like reenactments. But it's very, very unclear that they're reenactments. It seems like it's just real. And Riz Ahmed happens to be one of the people. Might have been one of his earlier works, like reenactment acting is typically poorly paid. But dude, the whole time, I watched the movie for like 40 minutes and I'm like, man, Riz Ahmed is so interesting. I can't believe he wrongfully served in Guantanamo. I didn't realize that he was acting.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's an interesting watch.
I'm not usually a fan of the dramatized interstitials within documentaries.
They're terrible. It works for me. It was so good in this that I thought he was literally the guy. Yeah.
I don't like those illustrations. Where
I don't like illustrations
narrator keeps telling
either.
the story, and then you got that slow guy walking up the stairs, and it's just over that shot over his shoulder as he's walking in to like kill his wife with a candlestick.
Like the animated one, you mean?
I don't even know.
I hate the animated.
Weirdly,
I prefer the Ken Burns moving photo over animation.
Yeah, moving photo for me is better. I like the moving photo.
We got to fact check this. Keep
it all real,
There's a documentary that is all animated. The story's so good that it overcomes it. But it was nominated for Best Feature Documentary this year, and it's about this guy for a refugee. Yes, Flea. Really fucking good. If you guys are looking for a good doc to watch, I recommend Flea.
Got it.
Okay, religious camp.
Yeah, so
This is how I discovered tennis.
Okay, right, that's where we are.
So
Okay.
I was like 10, and 10 is a late time to start tennis, right? If you're going to be a tennis player.
Okay.
I never really played before that. Dicked around a little, and my dad used to play. He played Hunter College in New York, and he
Nice.
used to give lessons at the same place that I ended up giving lessons for a while when I lived here.
Wow.
For the same guy, same owner.
The apple falls not far from the tree.
Dude, and the guy used to fucking like basically tell me that my dad was a better employee. He'd be like, "Your father?" He'd be like, "I used to tell him he could sell, something like selling, snow to a snow owl or whatever." Yeah. Like something
A
like
snow owl. Really good there.
I don't know.
Love
but
that.
He would always say, "Your father, and then he would tell me the same story over and over. He goes, "We were trying to get him to sell a membership, and he sold the guy 2 memberships."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh wow!" So he was basically reminding me that like I didn't care and that I wasn't a good employee. I'm like, "Dude, fuck off." Anyway, so we're at this camp, and we had discovered this game during our sort of like free for all time, where we would play essentially dodgeball on a tennis court. We called it chuck ball, and it was essentially there was only a couple balls, and whoever had them, and you tried to hit each other in the head with the ball, basically.
Okay. Had to be a headshot?
No, but you got more clout for one if you were to fucking concuss someone.
Yep.
Nice.
What kind of balls were you using?
Like not like traditional dodgeballs. They were more sturdy balls. We didn't have like an official ball. Ryan just showed us a ball. That's why. So anyway, I told my parents about this, and they were concerned. They called the camp and complained, and then chuck ball was discontinued. I had known they had called, but I didn't want to lose any street cred.
Wow.
Being the ace that I once was on the chuck ball court. So I kept it to myself that my parents had ended the fun for everyone.
Damn.
However, now the tennis courts had to be used for traditional things such as tennis. And in the wake of that, I began playing tennis, and I was just like kind of like good at it, like without knowing how to play. Like I sort of figured out these different shots. And I then went home at one point and asked my dad if he would teach me how to play. And the rest is history.
Wow, dude, what a great origin story.
Good origin story.
All because your parents were overprotective.
My parents Karen'd.
Yeah, you had the Karen parents, and as a result, you became a Division I tennis star. It's amazing. That's so rare.
And I started kind of late, but then I got really into it, and then I would go to tennis camp in the summer, which was nice because you would stay in dorms. This is what I did. I went at Amherst, and then one summer in Amherst, 2 summers at Williams.
Nice.
Both NESCAC schools.
Yeah, I went to Colby
quite similar.
basketball camp twice.
Really?
Yeah.
In Maine, right?
Yeah.
How was that? How's the campus up there?
It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's like probably the same as a Bates, Bowdoin, Amherst type thing.
Totally.
Although Amherst has a really nice campus.
Amherst does have a slightly nicer. It's probably similar to Williams.
My dad went to
Williams is a little
Amherst.
Did he really?
Yeah, so did my uncle.
Hill Dog's sister did too. Love to see it.
They were, I think, the first college in America to shut down for COVID.
Really?
Or they had some really strong instant reaction of it. To the degree that people were pointing to it and saying, "Look at how woke this place is," and then everywhere else followed suit.
Everywhere else followed suit.
I think that's what it was, or it was that everyone else came back to school and Amherst refused to let their doors be open. Something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. We'll fax with Ryan. We'll clear that up probably.
FWR.
Damn, dude. So where are we here? We've
concluded the tennis origin story.
We filled in the hole of the tennis and the summer camp story.
I know you guys were all dying to know how I started playing tennis.
We filled in the Jack Harlow being proud from Kentucky, being proud from Maine. And now we need to fill in the whole, I guess the whole of the body odor thing is pretty much told.
Yeah, maybe have you changed your diet though, seriously at all?
No.
You haven't added a new anything?
No, I think it's stress. Can't you get much worse body odor from being super stressed?
Stinky stress.
Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, I'm 2 weeks away from the wedding. As excited and as happy and content and certain as I am about so many things, it's definitely stressful. I see Sierra being stressed about putting the finishing touches on a few things, and I think I'm carrying some of that stress secondhand. Certainly expense of the honeymoon and all of this, and then starting a new job right on the other side of that. You know, I know I'm stressed because once again, my old sleep problems have resurfaced.
So your first day of your new job is the week of the 19th?
No, I think I'll probably start
Right when you
maybe like the 13th or the 14th.
Okay.
But maybe they'll give me till the 19th. I don't know.
Yeah, nice. Well, dude, listen, man, just remember that the stress is all for very nice things that don't really require much stress.
No, I know. Absolutely. And I'm thrilled about everything that life is about to give me and ask of me.
But it's a good exercise because you can't, to a degree, it is possible to outthink your feelings if your thought process is very strong.
Right now, I think I'm just out stinking my feelings.
Oh,
how about that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, you know, the things you all listed are just all wonderful, nice things. Like, who gives a fuck how much your honeymoon costs your honeymoon? You know.
Yeah, it's you know, it's all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's just a lot of changes from what the way things currently are, and as a result, I smell
terrible,
horrid.
Well, I'm excited for you to go on this adventure. It's gonna be a good one.
I can't wait.
When's the last time you've been on a trip like this with like bopping around? A while.
Dude, I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I know you had that fun little Balkan European excursion way back when.
We went to...
Didn't you go to Serbia?
With my friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like probably 6 years ago.
And right around the time I met you, you had sort of gone on this French vacation.
That was right after I got fired. So that was the most recent proper vacation, which Sierra and I went on together.
Like it was like a week and a half.
We took a full 10 days or something.
Nice.
We did, I think, 4 days of hiking in Chamonix, and then we did 4 or 5 days in Annecy, on Lake Annecy, Talwar, which was incredible. That was really cool. But since then, it's just been, 4 days in Jamaica.
Yeah.
4 days in Lake Como for a friend's wedding.
Right. Like the weddings are, of course, vacation in a way, but it's not like vacation where
Dude,
it's like
this is going to be like
vacation.
15 days of pure don't give a shit. And the best part about it is that everything's prepaid.
Dude, by the way, and that is the best thing about it. So you're good. Sunk cost.
I'll throw, you're going to have to tip here and there and all that, but all the meals and all the beverages are paid for at all these places.
Someone DM'd me with a very good suggestion that you may have already thought of. But when it comes to, making your stomach sturdy for these foreign environments where maybe, there's a little bit of bacteria floating around the water, probiotics.
Oh.
Start taking them 2 weeks before you go.
Okay.
Show up there with the fucking iron.
That's not a bad
stomach.
idea. I see the probiotic kind of yogurt drinks, things like that. Is that the right way to do it? Is there a chew I can take?
Probably. And I know that there's capsules.
I like those chews.
And I asked the girl, I was like, what's the best kind? She goes, I literally just buy whatever's the cheapest, but it works really well.
Okay.
Is what she said.
You know those chews?
I do. They're delicious.
Man, how good are chews?
Dude, whenever I go into like Vitamin Shop and I see the bowl of Take a Chew,
yeah,
dude, I'll end up I'll take a couple.
I sometimes think I don't even care what it is.
Same.
I just want the chew.
Vegetable chew. Sometimes I'll take like something that's intended for women only. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
Give me titties or give me death.
I need to get more into chews because when I'm not gonna lie, sometimes chews can be the best part of your day.
Chews are good.
Think about that.
Because it's like, ooh, I want something. You're like, ooh,
a chew,
and
it's good for me.
Yeah,
it's time. It's that time.
It's delish.
I haven't had my chew. Oh, I've forgotten my chew. I need to have my chew, my dino chew.
I know.
They have to come in the shape of a dinosaur or some berry fruits.
I need to take multivitamins with food or I get nauseous, even the chews, which is sad.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the pill form of a multivitamin. Mm-hmm. It gets lodged in your throat,
mm-hmm.
and it feels like you've swallowed a cyanide capsule because you've been captured, and you know something that they need to find out, but they can't. You can't. You're so noble. You care so much about where you come from, whether it's Maine or Kentucky, that you can't give up that secret, and you're willing to die for it.
You can't do it.
Yeah. They're huge.
How many days are you going to see the gorillas, by the way?
I think it's 3 or 4. Can I tell you?
3 or 4 different days you're going to spend time with them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I got an amazing update for you.
Oh,
No. We're hiking in to see the gorillas on 2 separate days.
Okay.
Most people just do 1 day.
Because it's insanely expensive.
Yes, and also there's another thing that you can do there, which is you go see the golden monkeys.
Oh, cool.
So there's kind of 2 separate sites, expeditions. And most people do 1 day of the gorillas and one day of the golden monkeys. But
dude, the same mountain is where I did the fateful hungover volcano hike.
That's where you went?
Yeah.
And that's where we're going, Volcanoes National Park?
Yeah. But I didn't do the gorillas because I was paying for other people and it was too expensive.
Yeah, the gorillas are expensive.
Yeah. The volcano hike where they're like, we might see a gorilla, which you know isn't gonna happen. Is literally 10 times more expensive.
Wow.
No, the gorilla.
No, not gonna lie. It is expensive.
Yeah.
But there is something too about one knowing that the money from the permit you pay for the gorillas is going towards the preservation and conservation of the animal.
Totally. No,
right?
I'm not trying
and
to
so you
out.
feel good about it. It's not going to some glitzy, glamorous spa resort.
Oh yeah, it's like it's tough terrain. It rains pretty much every day.
It pays a lot of the farmers whose land the gorillas will sometimes travel onto, and they'll like raid the crops.
Yeah.
And then when those crops get destroyed, the money from the gorillas goes towards them. So the whole
nice too.
Government
Ecosystem.
is cycling all the money through to make sure that the gorillas can basically do whatever they want to survive.
That's nice.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, here's a little nice tidbit. So I'm not going to say how I know this, but I know through a source, a very dear friend of mine, that Kevin Love, the
I saw
NBA All-Star, who is married to a supermodel, can't remember her name, but they are currently on, I think, the exact same honeymoon itinerary that we are about to do.
Really?
I think it's exactly the same.
Shout out Jackson Petty tagged me in that photo the other day. Which I was like, oh cool.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And I know because he and I have a mutual friend. He has told that friend that the hotel he's staying at, the resort that he's staying at while doing the gorilla trekking, is the best resort hotel he's ever stayed at in his life.
Wow.
And this is a guy who's making $25 million a year or some crazy shit.
And
Find out what his
he also seems like a guy, because like, dude, I'm
he's
not
got taste.
Just having money doesn't mean you know where to go.
No,
but he seems like the guy who would.
He strikes me
pretty cool,
especially in that his wife, one presumes, has been treated to the finest resorts, and then he, by extension, has probably been with her. Right. For whatever shoots or things that they were doing. You have to believe that this jet-setting, cosmopolitan couple has taste and has stayed in the best places in the world. And for him to say that instantly ratcheted up my excitement for this place another 3 to 4x.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you that where we're going, there's another resort that you can stay at for the gorillas that is ranked as the number 1 place.
Okay.
And I think this is often number 2.
Interesting.
So that one. And I think the number 1 place is on a lot of lists ranked as the number 1 safari lodge for all safari in Africa.
Oh, wow.
Not just gorilla
That's
trekking.
Sick. That's sick.
And we couldn't stay there because it was fully booked. It wasn't like a ton more expensive than where we're staying. So I definitely had some FOMO. But once Kevin Love gave his stamp of approval, all of that FOMO dissipated.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, into the mists, the gorilla mists.
Dude, our guide that day when we did that fateful hike, I gave him my phone number, and for years after, he would message me, and it was funny, like the language barrier, and then like English is one of the main languages in Rwanda, but like not everybody speaks super well. This particular guy, he'll text me, but it comes off as like boyish, but also like kind of like homoerotic sort of. He'll be like, I love you, Julian.
Nice.
I've missed you. My friend Julian.
Doesn't hurt.
I'm like, hey bro, what's up?
Hey dude.
Hey Vincent. My friend, I cannot wait for us to be together again.
Wow, that is quite homoerotic. Yeah.
You know? But dude, you know what? This reminded me of something. You did not do this. I'm not trying to like make you feel self-conscious. You straight up did not do it. You said we did, and then you mentioned destinations that you went to. One of my pet peeves is when people tell me what they did on their vacations, and they say, you know, we did the, and then they will, they'll say the thing they think you supposedly do, and you go, yeah, we did the zip line, we did the pigs,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
the pigs,
yeah,
we did the horse thing, yeah, we did that. I'm like, dude, that's so annoying.
I agree. I agree.
obnoxious.
It's a little annoying. It's such a sort of write-off of what is many people consider one of the greatest experiences or sights of their life.
Yeah, right.
We did the Eiffel Tower. We did the pyramids.
Yeah, but it's also like you're referring to this place that has endless possibilities as if it were Busch Gardens. Yeah, we did the Beast. We did the water slide.
So we have
did the
separate
flume.
issues with it.
We have separate issues.
We have
with this
separate
technique.
issues with it. Separate issues with the same problem. Isn't that funny?
Do you like roller coasters?
I do.
I really hate them and I'm scared. It would be fun for us
One
to go.
for two. Okay.
I'd go on a scary one with you, and we could like wear fucking what are the things called? GoPros.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like selfie cams so we could see me be scared.
That'd be kind of funny.
I go like when they take the
Wow.
picture of me, I'm scared. I'm like, ah.
Interesting.
And you'd be going,
I like thrills. Yeah, I like thrills. I'd probably be flashing the camera, my boobies.
titties.
It's
funny to be really
chews.
Well, you want to chew? Yeah, dude. It's funny. Like, there's so many funny roller coaster bits. Like people, like funny, like the video of the guy passing out, or the video of the guy who's completely stone faced in every drop
like that
photo.
one. Yeah.
There's a lot of good room for comedy.
Here's another thing I don't like that much, and I may have said this on the podcast before. But what you just said, we did this, we did the Grand Canyon, we did the Rocky Mountains. I don't like it when I'm at a restaurant and the waiter says, when you say what are the specials, and he goes, I have a braised stew with a beautiful sea bass. Tonight I've also got it's like, dude, you don't have it. You don't have that. The restaurant has it. The chefs have it. You're bringing it.
You're the messenger.
If you said I can bring you,
What about we?
we's fine.
We's better.
I have
agree.
no problem
is-
with
is
we.
Stupid.
I from the waiter bugs me.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It feels self-important. It feels like he's over-crediting himself for the dish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He's as though he has gone to the market to source the ingredients and then cooked it himself,
Right.
and has then taken off his bloodied smock and is now presenting himself as though he can now bring us the thing he's cooked up.
He's now moved to the kitchen for
Like,
step 2.
I know there's 7 or 8 guys back there, and guys and gals who are sweating. Their fingertips are scorched. You know, they've chopped off a couple tips of their nails, and they're screaming at each other. And they have it. They have the, sea bass, the branzino. They have the filet.
They have it.
And we thank them. And I'll thank you through tipping you. I sure will.
You've done a good job.
I'm going to tip you. Don't you worry, pal. But you don't have it. You don't have it. You have access to it. You will courier it
In
to
fact,
me.
I have it.
Yeah. I'm about to have it. I will have it if I want it. I'll have it if I want it. But
I could have it.
Yeah.
You can't.
I think we nailed that. I think we got that right.
That was good.
By the way, the way
good.
that we just did that's the right way.
That was good.
Yeah, that was well done. Yeah, fuck those guys.
Dude. Okay, what do you say we do an email here before we get into FWR?
Lovely.
This one really had us chuckling. This is called ranking the worst throwing up scenarios in front of your partner.
Oh, wow.
To the boys. I normally DM y'all on Insta about random things from the pod, but I figured I'd put this one in an email in case you want to discuss. I, like Francis, have terrible motion sickness. Do you have motion sickness?
I do get it. I get it, yeah. I would say I'm on the high end of the spectrum, but I'm certainly not the worst.
Got it.
Sierra's actually more sensitive than I am.
Okay. Hopefully.
By the way, when we say motion sickness, we're talking car sickness.
Yeah.
Airplane sickness.
Sure.
All that. Yeah.
Sure.
Is seasickness on there?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm pretty bad. Yeah.
Okay. And your convo about this made me think of all these times. I'm wondering what y'all think is the worst of them all. 1, first time meeting my now husband's best friend. We went sailing and I threw up off his boat. Ended up making the best man speech, LMAO. 2, first big trip my now husband and I go on. We go scuba diving. I throw up off the boat coming home. 3, my first birthday party my now husband and I go to. I throw up on the ride home in the Uber and he has to pay $250 for the cleanup.
That's the worst.
Number 4,
so far.
2 months after my now husband gets a brand new Audi, I throw up all over it on New Year's Day. Jesus. I did get it detailed for him, but he was pissed, rightfully so. 5, my husband and I are on our honeymoon in Hawaii. I throw up on the helicopter ride. She goes, reading this back, it's amazing my husband married me. LMAO. I'm also an idiot and always forget Dramamine until it's too late. The few times I remember it, I don't throw up, so no one's to blame but myself. And the older I get, the worse my motion sickness gets.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know this, you need to. You have to take the Dramamine on steady dry land.
30 minutes before?
You have to, and then because if you take it on the boat or lucky you, the helicopter, then you will. It won't have an effect. But
bro, this girl's like Peter Griffin. Dude.
I know.
She's just barfing everywhere constantly.
This is really interesting to me because if it's happened that many times, then she should know better. I hate to say that. I don't want to vomit shame, but you know you're heading into any situation where you could be prone to throwing up is so bad.
It sucks.
It's so bad.
It's bad. Terrible.
One rung below diarrhea.
I take diarrhea over vomiting all day long.
Well, but that's assuming that you are getting to the toilet in time. Would you rather throw up?
In most situations, like, you should be able to get to the toilet in time.
Well, I would say that's true for vomiting too.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter. I don't need an environment to vomit. I can vomit anywhere, but it feels so terrible. I don't care if I'm in the nicest bathroom in the world or the shittiest one. I will be laying on the floor naked with my neck rested against the base of the toilet for comfort.
Interesting.
It's the only thing that will make me feel better.
Okay, so you're on a helicopter sightseeing a volcano in Hawaii, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather shit your pants with runny diarrhea or throw up in the helicopter?
Okay, so here's the thing. I know that morning probably that my tum-tum.
You might not.
If diarrhea just strikes.
Yeah, your breakfast that morning catches up to you while you're in the helicopter.
I could probably hold it for 15 minutes.
You are doing what Hillary does with your hypotheticals.
Fine, but
shoot me straight.
You're doing it too.
Hold on.
You're doing what I do, which is good actually. It's a good thing to be doing.
But my
it's the
hypothetical
reasonable
exists.
thing to be doing. I know, but I can probably hold it. And granted, that like hot, sweaty flash might come over you where you're like, oh. But I think I like to believe I could still hold it in time.
Okay. Cool.
You know, it was just funny. You're
Good for you.
You're driving over a volcano about to erupt yourself.
Yeah.
This is nice.
But here's my question. You can't hold it. You can't hold either.
Then
throw up or shit your pants diarrhea.
I literally, knock on fucking wood, I can't ever remember a time where I wasn't able to hold it. But
I just won't answer the question.
But
it's the most infuriating thing.
No, hear me out. Let me finish. I would, in that very specific case, I'd rather have to throw up. Yes,
I agree with that.
But otherwise, the latter all the way. The D. I'll take the D.
Okay. All right. I think that's. I get what you're saying.
You don't mind throwing up? Throwing up seems to not bother Hillary much.
For me, I don't mind throwing up that much. But I guess all things considered, if you have access to a toilet in either case, then yeah, maybe diarrhea.
This is disgusting. I'm sorry, everybody, but I need to say this because it's actually something I need cured. Vomiting, for me, is not a cut and dry process. For some reason, my nose becomes involved.
Come on. Does it come out of your nose?
Yes.
Oh, that's horrid.
So it also gets stuck.
Oh, that's so sad.
Going into my nose. So then for the next day, I'm like
Oh God.
And now I have
dude.
vomit in my mouth and
Oh
I have
my
to vomit
God.
again.
I'm so sorry.
Is there a way to prevent that? Can I put a little like a piece of tape above the area where my nasal cavity opens?
where your
and
sinus connects
where my
to your
sinus
mouth,
is? Yeah.
your
Is there a way to
nose?
close this portal? Close the portal, bro. I need 11. Fucking.
That's really tough. That's really. Now I see why you have that answer.
Dude, it's bad.
It'd be like if your diarrhea came out of your dick too. In which case, I would definitely prefer throwing up.
Okay, sorry everybody about this combo.
I
but
think it's fine.
it's real though, bro. It's real shit, bro.
My I think to answer the young lady's question, the worst of all of those, in all the cases, throwing off the side of a boat, while really unpleasant, the problem with the boat is that you cannot. There's no escaping the seasickness. Even after you've thrown up, you'll still be dry heaving until you get to land.
Right.
There's
for a
no
while.
respite. There's nowhere to hide from how sick
Yeah.
you feel. The boat will just continue to rock and make you feel sick for hours, for
Yeah.
however long people
You're fucked.
want to be on the
Yep.
boat.
And throwing up makes you feel better for 5 minutes, and then you're just right back.
There's a couple tricks you can try. One is jump in the water if you can. Swimming in the water sometimes will make you, and I've had
It'll
this,
reset
but-
you.
Yeah. Obviously finding a
Into the
point on
distance.
land and looking at that and studying that. But yeah, there's really no escaping it. But both of the boats are not as bad because I assume she's throwing up off the side of the boat.
Yeah.
Whereas throwing up in a car or certainly in a helicopter is horrible because then the
Yeah.
stench is within the cabin.
To me, the Uber is the worst one, because you're fucking up the Uber driver's day and your husband's day by having to pay the $250. Whereas the Audi,
I go with the Audi because
she threw up all over it or inside of it. That's the difference. She said I got it detailed, so then maybe that means it was inside, which would be worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
For their
right.
car.
Dude, the worst sea sickness I can recall, and I actually didn't end up throwing up, but I was in Galapagos on my way back, and 3 hours, dude, of like,
Yeah.
and you'd see land, and you'd be like, oh, that's where we're going, and then we'd pass by it, and then there's the
Damn.
faint and that kept happening, and
Mhm.
I was too afraid to ask. So, and then I locked on to the only thing I could see, and the guys who worked on the boat kept getting in my way, and I kept trying to
Wow.
stay on it really bad. But then, yeah, and then I went from that into food poisoning the next day.
Oh God.
I know I survived, but
I had the foresight to take Dramamine when we dove the Great Barrier Reef.
oh, nice.
And that was so fortunate because even with the Dramamine, I could tell how sick I would have been because it was like a 2.5 to 3 hour
Yeah, dude.
boat ride
Fuck that.
out to the reef
Fuck that.
from, Cairns, which is where we left from.
No bueno.
The problem for me with Dramamine is it makes me so drowsy.
Interesting.
It makes me fall asleep in my seat.
Interesting.
I get so drowsy from Dramamine.
I really admire people who don't get seasick, man. Like
Yeah.
there's some lady just sleeping while the boat was literally like half the people on the boat were puking,
Yeah.
and this lady's just asleep. I
That's
was like,
brutal.
that's crazy.
All right.
Um,
That's Oops the Podcast. I will be in Greenville. Oh, wait. Really quick before we do that. Facts with Ryan. Facts with Ryan.
We have
Were
a-
they lying? Facts with Ryan.
We have a lot today.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
baby.
We got into it on today's
Let's
episode.
fucking go.
All right, so let's start with chains. Emma, the tennis player, Emma Raducanu.
Raducanu.
Radikowski.
No,
That's
Emma
the model.
Raducanu,
Oh.
Raducanu.
tennis player.
Raducanu.
Sure.
Emma Raducanu.
Yeah, your way.
She wore a 37,000.
No,
she
not
wore,
my way, bro. Radikowski's the model.
No, I know.
Oh,
I'm just being an asshole.
So she wore $37,000 worth of jewelry in the Wimbledon this year.
jeez.
Wow.
And then Ronald Acuna Jr. has worn a $140,000 gold chain at the 2021 All-Star Game. Fernando Tatis Jr. wore a $200,000 golden chain.
Jesus.
And then also, I remember Johannes Cespedes on the Mets slid into second base, and he definitely was wearing an expensive chain, and it broke. And
Yeah.
it got all over the field. And I
Oh
think that
my
was
God.
within 5 years ago.
Then there was an NFL
So
player I remember
stupid.
where the defensive back ripped it off of him. Just went like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tom's of Maine was founded in 1970.
Yeah, and sold for like $800 million it was founded by a woman from Maine, and she sold it, I don't know, 20 years later for like 800 million. She donates tons and tons of land to be protected and preserved in Maine that can never be developed.
Pretty cool.
Pretty sure that's true.
Love it.
Yeah.
Camp Nature's Classroom
Yes.
is permanently closed,
Oh,
and it's
wow.
actually a part of Camp Jewel. And I asked you that. I've been to Camp Jewel before.
Where is it in Aberdeen, Connecticut?
No,
I think maybe they just called it Nature's Classroom then.
Camp Jewel is just a huge vape
Where's
camp.
you said it's in Colebrook?
Yeah, it's in
the
Colebrook.
last place for all the
and I
kids
went
to go
there.
and
I went there while I
vape.
was in college every year in the fall for student government stuff. So I was amongst. the
Hold on a
premises.
second. What position did you have?
I
in
was
student government.
I did
Ryan?
student government all 4 years, and
Oh.
my freshman year,
Okay,
I was
Ryan.
whatever,
Cool, man.
Freshman year, I was the class vice president. Sophomore year, I was the class president. Junior year, I was on the executive board for social media, and then my senior year, I was student body president
Wow.
at school.
Jesus
Jesus,
Christ.
dude. That's
Yeah.
sick.
It was a pretty cool experience.
Leadership.
Yeah.
You know what? That is commendable.
Yeah. it's
I admire
impressive.
that. You gotta, at some point, you gotta tip your cap. If you can be that universally popular while also being someone who clearly does move the needle.
Free soda for everyone.
Yeah, you're not that guy. You're not the
Yeah.
like, guys, second recess.
The vending machines.
You know, we're gonna serve booze at prom. You're not that guy. You probably got shit done.
Yeah, we did get some stuff done.
What was your best achievement as a student council member?
Probably reformatting. So internally reformatting the entire organization because it just wasn't getting shit done.
Trim the fat.
So my entire senior year, that was what I ran on was reforming everything
Cut the red
internally.
tape.
And then I can't take credit for it, but I just had some kick-ass people on the team. Just stuff around campus. We got club sports back. So
Nice.
that was a pretty big one. Yeah, cool experience. Got to
Wow.
give a speech to the freshmen at the convocation. And that was cool.
Damn.
Sick, bro.
So, but I went to Camp Jewel every year for our
Got
student
it.
government retreats.
Got it.
So, but wait. So there's a review from Nature's Classroom. So they're closed, but somebody wrote in a 1-star review saying, "I went to Nature's Classroom 2 years ago, and there was a scary staff member, and it gave me night terrors. Then I had to evacuate my cabin, and people with hazmat suits went into the cabin and never came out. This is one of my core memories. I'm scared for my life. 1 out of 5 stars.
Man, they must have been drooling really hard in there. Hazmat suits?
That's insane, bro.
Jesus.
So Guantanamo Bay hunger strikes started in 2002. 84 prisoners participated. It was kept under wraps until 2005. And then there were more people by then. It also happened again in 2013 where there were over 140 people participating.
That's probably what I remember.
Sandlot Sports runs a dodgeball league in New York City if you're looking to get your fix.
Nice.
COVID. So the University of Washington was the first college to close due to COVID, March 20th, 2022. Couldn't find anything on Amherst. Fun fact, their mascot is the mammoth.
That's funny you say that. It used to be the Lord Jeffs. They were the Amherst Lord Jeffs. And Lord Jeffrey Amherst was like a fucking horrific colonizer who I think gave smallpox riddled blankets to Native Americans,
Oh,
which is
God.
why the college changed their mascot to the mammoth.
Ouch.
I think
Nice.
that's true. There was an old song, Lord Jeffrey Amherst was a soldier to his men, and he came from the great country. I don't know.
And gave everyone smallpox.
That was their fight song, and then they changed it all because his history was pretty dark.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
That's weird. Anxiety and stress can change your hormones, create sweat, weakens the immune system, and more. All of this can lead to worsened body odor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The website I found that on has a 7-minute anxiety stress quiz to see if
Good.
you'd be part of it.
I'll take that.
I'll send it to you when we're done. Kevin
gonna
Love
give me
makes
more
$30.1 million a year. He's in the final
Jesus.
year of a 4-year, $120 million contract.
Where does he play?
Cleveland. with
He's
the
still
Cavs.
in Cleveland?
He signed an extension 4 years ago.
So he's been there since the LeBron era.
He's been there, I think, since 2013 because they traded for Andrew Wiggins. They swapped.
Wow.
The
Yeah,
Cavs
Wiggins.
gave the Timberwolves Wiggins for Love.
Interesting. And he
Friggin' Wiggins.
he won a championship with LeBron
16.
the year that they and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Which
Second
was,
year.
Right. But that was the only one they won there. And that was, to me, that's probably to me the most memorable NBA championship of the last like 15 years, 10 years.
That was
at least.
epic.
That was a good
Yeah.
one.
Because they were down 3-1.
Ryan, you love LeBron, right? If I recall.
Yeah.
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 As
I
do
do
I.
like LeBron.
Yeah.
As
I
do
didn't at one point, but I do like him.
Yeah, that was
Same.
epic.
It's probably because
Same.
of the Cleveland.
That championship changed his legacy for sure. Okay, keep going.
Kevin Love's wife to be, or his wife, is Kate Bach.
Kate Bach, yeah.
Kate Bach.
Maybe you'll meet her. Diarrhea can occur within 30 minutes after eating. And then here's a little throwing up tip. When you throw up, plug your nose to avoid all the acid from getting in there. And I've been reading some of the comments on the feed saying that it makes throwing up less miserable
Wow.
and kind of not even an issue.
Good
People
to know.
don't mind blowing chunks.
Good to
Wow.
know. Very good.
Yeah,
Very
try
good,
that,
Ryan.
G. Try
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying that next time.
Awesome. Okay,
There
very
it
good
is.
facts with Ryan. Very informative. We needed all of that. Appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you, student body president, Ryan. I'll be in Greenville and Charlotte, North Carolina, September 29th to the 31st. Tickets for that are at francisellis.com. Julio?
The Stand in New York City, I think the date is the September 15th. By the time this comes out, it will be on my website.
Awesome.
But it's going to be that week, most likely. And it's going to be a really fun show. We will have some surprise guests. I'm not
Nice.
going to announce the lineup.
Hell yeah.
Along with myself. Spoiler alert. And it should be really fun. I'd love to see you there.